Hi there and welcome to Andy Robinson RC, and on today's episode we have this iconic vintage racing buggy from 1993, Team Losi Racing, Losi XX two-wheel drive buggy. And I say I literally got this a few days ago off a gentleman that I struck a deal with called Mitch Fidling. I picked this up off the I saw an ad for this on the Losi sort of Facebook group. I think it's the Losi UK Facebook group, and this looked in superb condition. So I got in touch with Mitch and we struck a deal. So a massive thanks to Mitch for selling this to me. Really happy with it as well. And there's a gentleman that I know from some of the vintage race meets. He rebuilt this as well. He's called Rob Fox. Has a hand in the Robin Hood Raceway two-wheel drive off-road event, which I think is happening in April this year, early April. And I'll put a link to the Facebook group in the description as well, so you can check that out. But it's a rear motor two-wheel drive buggy race day, so which is a really cool idea. And I'll pop that link to the group's page in this description. But here you go. This is my now my Team Losi XX. And if you're not familiar with the XX, I'll give you just a few points about it. Okay, so this buggy was released after the JRX Pro SE, so that came out in 1991, and then the Double X was released in 1993, and it debuted at the 1993 IFMA World Championships in Basildon in UK. And now the one of the Team Losi drivers, Joel Johnson, he TQ'd with the Double X, only to sort of lose out in the finals to Brian Kinwald, who at the time was driving for Associated, and he was driving an RC10 Worlds car. Now later on, Brian Kinwald would go on to race for Losi. Okay, so what else can I say? Well, over the JRX Pro SE, which will, when I show you the lid off it, the shell off it, basically it had revised bulkhead at the front from the old one, and this also had a hinge on it which pivoted, and it allowed you more access to the steering servo. Unfortunately, it can be a bit of a weak spot on these. What else did happen with it as well? Yeah, so new chassis design, different from the outgoing JRX Pro. So the idea was to keep the battery nice and low, but keep the sides sort of highish, so it still kept a nice low centre of gravity through cornering. So they did that, and also the wheels, as you can see, the actual reinforcement ribs are on the outside of the wheel, and this doesn't have them, but you'd get little Lexan covers that you put on and here, so it'd cover the spokes, so it'd stop them getting full of muck and dirt, and a lot of drivers painted them up. So I mean, I'm sure there might be a few other things, but they were the big changes for the Double X over the JRX Pro SE. So anyway, after this buggy, they released in 1996 the Double X CR, which I'm pretty sure I had a Double X CR, well, way back now, but about 97, 98, I had one for a little bit. And on that one, they revised the rear suspension geometry, which, supposedly made the car drive a lot better. And it had 5-spoke wheels all around, but I think a lot of people preferred the dish wheels. Yeah, and also as well, the on the front A-arms, or the front wishbones, they put nodules in so they could attach a front sway bar as well. So again, there were the key differences between the Double X and a double X CR. And then again in 1997, the Losi released the double X CR Brian Kimball edition, which I think was to celebrate Brian Kimball's victory at the IFMR Worlds in '97. Now again, if I've got any of that wrong, please do give us a shout in the comments and let me know. Alright, I'll just put my cheat sheet away. Okay, so yeah, I'm super happy I've got one of these. Now, I've always been more of an associated guy than Losi, but you know, I can appreciate these vintage racers, so I thought it'd be really nice to add a Losi double X, or I've been happy with the double X CR, one of the two, to the collection, but this came up and it's just so nice. I say it's still got its vintage body shell and wing, so I think I'm going to try and keep these. Obviously, sorry, the wing's a bit stiff. I'll try and get this off now. Come on. There we go. That's one. There we go. Yeah, the wing is a little battered slightly, but I want to keep it because it's the original wing. And there's also, it's got the hole in it there from where you used to be able to mount your transponders as well. Right, okay, so when I got the buggy, unfortunately, the body had split. Yeah, which is a bit of a shame. So we'll have a look here, but yeah, so the body had come away here, basically. It's split across there. But what we did is, because there's nothing wrong with it, it still looks very cool, and of the time, I've just T-Rex taped the back on for now, and it seems pretty strong, so, you know, it's, you know, I can pick it up from there, it's fine. So, yeah, I just want to sort of keep that with it, really. It's quite cool. I'm liking that, so that's the body for it. And what else was really cool about this is that it comes, or it came with its with vintage electrics as well. Oh, excuse me. Oh dear me, I'm tired. So we've got this Ace Team Novak high frequency Hyperfet ESC, a 410 HPC is the number on it. You can adjust the ampage and things like that on it, from I think it's 20 to 80 to 140 CL amps, it says on here. So you know, it had a few adjustments on this, but I mean the fact that it works still is brilliant. So you can see it there, the Team Novak ESC. I mean, I won't claim to know much about these. Back in the day when I had these the first time round, I couldn't afford a Novak ESC anyway. Now the motor, I'm not familiar with this motor either. It says ACR and then Maniac 38-degree stock motor. So if anyone could tell me a bit about that motor, that'd be interesting. If you know what it is, what turn it is, or anything like that. But it says ACR and then Maniac and then 38-degree stock. So that was cool. The receiver is mine. It did have a Futaba 40 megahertz receiver, but the wire was missing. It did work, but obviously I had no range because there was no wire, so I've just put one of mine in. Now the servo, I can't see what servo it is. I've not had it out, so I can't actually tell you what servo it is at the minute. But it seems, you know, reasonably quick for what it is. But also, which is cool about this, which I'm really happy with. Now, I did ask Mitch, because when I got the car, I was looking at it, and I seem to think that, I think it was Rob Fox that's built this up. I said, oh, has it got a graphite chassis? Because it looked to have a graphite chassis on it, a different colour from the usual other plastics, which it is. And I said, it really looks like a graphite chassis on this. And Mitch sort of said he thought it was graphite as well, but usually on the graphite chassis, it says graphite on them. Now, I suppose that can wear off over time, but yeah, I suppose if you're watching this, Robin, you know, has it got a graphite chassis? That's it there. I'm going to go and say, stick my neck out and say, yeah, it looks like a graphite chassis to me. But, I mean, it's great if that's what it's got on it. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't. Now, the other cool thing is, as well, is that this particular double X has been fitted with the Losi Hydra drive slipper clutch system. And the Hydra drive basically is a slipper clutch that's fluid filled. So it's meant to be, so you can adjust it extra fine around the hub. You've got little Allen key bolts that you can adjust the tightness on, so slacken it off and loosen it. And again, obviously, you've got the main tensioning spring on the lace shaft as well that you can tighten up. The idea is to get really fine adjustments. But yeah, the Hydra drive was a fluid filled slipper clutch. Now also as well, Losi did one of these that you could fit on the Team Associated as well. But yeah, but really cool. I'm really stoked that this XX particularly has got the Hydra drive on. I think that is ace. So, and I think as well, looking at this, it's had Lunsford titanium turnbuckles put on as well. But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic buggy. Really pleased with how the condition of it. It's fantastic. Absolutely love it. So I will be using this at some point. So as I say, I have given it a little blast. No mind doing that. A little blast outside down the road, and yeah, it's you know, it's pretty nippy for what it is, which is ace. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this a bit more of a run. Although I might try and source a few spares. Like here, so the front bulkhead here is quite weak, or it can be quite fragile. And obviously, if we can get some C hubs and A arms, they'll be worth having as spares. So yeah, but a very cool vintage buggy from 1993. Now, also from 1993, I did a video on this recently, link in the description. But this is the Jamara Hobby World Valiant 2. Again, this is from the same period in time as the Losi XX. However, I don't think there was many people running one of these in the UK at the time. No, you know, could be wrong. Could have been some people out there. But yeah, I say this is dead long to me. This buggy. It's got a really long wheelbase on it. It's longer than the XX in its current guise. I mean, you can adjust the wheelbase on this, but it's longer than this. It's definitely longer than my B2 there, which is set as a short wheelbase currently. But yeah, so that's from 1993 as well. Now, I said the XX was released in 1993, and I think by that time, Associated's RC10, Gold Pan, you know, Worlds cars were probably getting a bit long in the tooth by then, and Associated sort of needed to sort of come up with something, you know, to compete with Losi's new XX. So, I say, 2 years later, after the launch of the XX, Associated brought out this, which I'm sure some of you have seen before. This is my Team Associated RC10 B2. You know, still similar concept, similar type, you know, design of chassis, and you know, layout and everything like that. Just you know, obviously Associated had their own way of doing things, and so did Losi. There you go. You can see inside. It isn't a million miles different. Obviously, the front bulkhead's different here at the front. On the B2, it doesn't have a hinged top deck. The servo is behind the top deck on this, and you can get to that quite easily. It's got a battery retaining strap rather than the Velcro straps as on this. But you know, the principles are pretty much the same. Although over the years, Team Associated have seemed to dominate. Have seemed to have dominated the FMR Worlds. They've not won it all the time, but they've probably certainly got the most victories. But yeah, I mean, you know, they're of the same sort of period, and I think it's really cool to have sort of both buggies to show you and to own and have in the collection. So yeah, now obviously I'm still waiting to run my B2 for you. I haven't done a running video of this yet. And of course, I will be doing a running video on the XX as well. I've not fully decided, but I might do a video where we pitch the XX and the B2 together against each other. And I might do one with all three actually. just for the fun of it, really. But yeah, so there you go. Hopefully we'll have this out soon, running for you. But yeah, just wanted to show you this one, guys and girls. Much appreciated if you've taken your time to watch this all the way through. Really do appreciate it as always. Remember, if you want to see more of our content, then please consider subscribing to the channel. And also you can find Andy Robinson RC on Facebook and on Instagram. Now, just to let you know as well, hopefully very soon I shall have the Tamiya Lotus Europa Special on the MO6 chassis. Hopefully that will be arriving soonish. So we'll have one of them on the show to build. And of course we've got other things coming up as well with the buggies and whatnot. So yeah, cheers for joining us again. As I said, it's always appreciated. Thank you for all your support. See you all soon. Take care and look after yourselves. See ya.